Alright, YouTube. Discussion video here. I got some things I want to talk about involving finding your sensitivity, because I've seen a lot of people confused on how to have a good sensitivity or how to find the best sensitivity for you or whatever. And I'm seeing a lot of how to find my mouse grip, because I made that original video saying you can't palm, and then everybody's going, oh, but I can't fingertip. Fingertip is so hard. And a lot of people feel like claw is bad, but I think people think claw is like very extreme and it has to look like this, which it doesn't. Honestly, I don't really see much in between fingertip and claw, other than them being very extreme when you're talking about them. For instance, when you're fingertipping like this and your fingers are very straight, or a claw where it's just kind of like the edges. For me, when I'm gripping my mouse, I do it like this. This is my grip. This is how I hold my mouse. It's kind of in between both. And as you can see, I can use my fingers. My palm is not touching. And like I can go to a claw and I can go into a fingertip. And it's kind of a bit between both. But I see a lot of people thinking they have to kind of force their finger to be one way or another way. And that's just not the case. There's no reason you have to be on one specific grip or you have to force something that's very uncomfortable and hold your mouse in just a way that doesn't make sense. So I'm going to go over how to hold your mouse a little better. I also see a lot of excuses of people saying they have gigantic hands. If you have giant hands and your fingers are going over the mouse like this, literally just back your hand up. Like, it's here, just back it up. See how my hands doesn't move positions at all? I can have the exact same grip here, and I can have the same grip here. Either way, it's the same thing. Just stop holding your mouse so far forward. It also is going to push the mouse into your palm, which we don't want. We don't want the mouse on our palm. I really have to iterate it because a lot of people think that palm grip is good. I don't really know. They're like, oh, my favorite gamer plays on palm grip. Yeah, well, you're not your favorite gamer, all right? You're your favorite pro. You're not him. You're not that guy. So be normal and aim the way you're supposed to aim. But yeah, this is about how I aim. Like this. This is my grip. Fit in between claw, between fingertip. For some things, I'll aim differently. Like I'll fingertip more for tracking scenarios, as I feel I'm more stable. Usually on most games, so I'm gonna be doing a more of like a claw in between mix. So do what's comfortable. On different aim trainers, I play different ways. On different scenarios, I hold my mouse differently. On static, I hold my mouse differently. It's not gonna be the same for everything. Take your time on it. Aim train a lot. Learn how what's comfortable. Play comfortably. Hold your mouse comfortably. I would say comfort over some special grip or special technique. It really doesn't need to be overthought that much. If you're able to move your mouse around like this, with your wrist flat on your desk, like look at this is wrist, this is fingers. Finger movement, wrist movement, arm movement. Another thing is I see a lot of people aiming where they'll get stuck and they'll hold their arm and then they get stuck and they're in like this weird position where they can't move. If you're ever like flicking to the side and you start using your wrist and you get uncomfortable, you probably shouldn't have flicked that way in the first place. Your arm should have done the movement and then the rest from there. But the initial flick towards a target should mostly be done with your arm and maybe some wrist. But a lot of people play like this and they use their full mouse pad, and then it makes it a little tough to continuously aim. Or people confuse when you need to go to the side of your pad and you have to reset. That's something that will happen a lot less if you're using the full potential of your body. I'm gonna try to show the full pad here so we can have a bit of a better time explaining some of this stuff. But when I'm aiming, start in the position that's comfortable, somewhere in the middle. Usually I'm starting pretty higher up. I have my whole arm on the desk. Some people play like this. This isn't really all that good. I know it's something with like your elbow and your 90-degree angle. I don't do any of that. I do what's comfortable, and this is what's comfortable for me. This is the setup that I play. This is how I do it. I'm looking like this. I'm moving around. This is what I'd play. And again, this is the mouse grip I'd be using. Here we're gonna show it. This is how I hold my mouse. Again, it's between claw, between fingertip. A lot of people are saying I'm fingertipping, but literally just the smallest adjustment. It's basically a claw grip. If I wanted to, by the way, I could literally just aim with only my thumb and my finger, like my pointer finger. You literally don't need these other 3 fingers to aim. Some people use their pinky to adjust and hold themselves, so that way they can stop faster. If that's something that's comfortable for you, go for it and do it. Again, comfort over everything else. However, the way that you feel holding the mouse is comfortable is priority. Absolutely priority. So, but we're going to talk sensitivity here a bit, and what CM per 360 is. So Head over to here. So here's the CM360. This is what I play on. This is what I've been playing on. This is the Valorant Sens. You can see I'm on 1600 DPI. This is what almost everybody should be playing on. This is not your sensitivity. This is just how fast your mouse updates when you're making a movement. So the lower the number, the slower it's going to be updating on your pad. So when you're playing 400, 800, it's half as fast, a quarter as fast. Anything above 1600, like if you're doing 3200, and I'll explain why you don't want to do this. Because when we start going to sensitivities, for instance, like on Valorant, it becomes a lot harder to be accurate in adding your sensitivity. Like this would be my Valorant sense on Valorant. But if I go to 1600 and I could do 64.4, it's a lot more accurate to be able to add my sense. So this is my sense in game if I'm going to be playing Valorant. So hopefully that makes sense. This is actually your sense. There's no such thing as EDPI. Please do not measure an EDPI. Everybody asking me to tell them my EDPI is just, it's different in every game. It changes for different things. It's not a good way to accurately measure your mouse sensitivity. This is how you want to accurately measure it. So for instance, if I was on 40 cm, I move 40 centimeters on my mouse to make mouse pad to make a 360. If I'm on, 30 cm, it's, 30 cm. The movement's identical. The amount you move, different. So if you want to measure, this is how you should do it. So you know exactly how much you're actually going to be moving on your pad. You do want to be using your full length of your pad. If you're not comfortable using your full pad, I would suggest trying to become comfortable with it. For instance, if I'm on like a really fast sense, like 25 cm, I'm literally going to use like this tiny little distance right here. I'm going to be using the smallest little bit of my mouse pad, and I don't get to really fully use everything. And then my arm doesn't come into play, and then you have to be more accurate with your fingers and your wrists. So that's the reason why we don't want to use a very fast sense, because you actually have to be more accurate to be able to use it. And I know some people complain about, I'm not fast enough, I'm not moving quick enough. Get better. Get better. There's no such thing as too slow when you're on a mouse. Look how fast I can move my arms. No excuses. I'm moving too slow, I can't flick fast enough. You are a human being with an arm and a wrist and fingers. You're not on a controller. There's no such thing as too slow. I can move my mouse instantly in any position, anywhere I want on my mouse pad. There's never too slow. When I'm going on here and I'm clicking dots, if I go on here and I go to fucking, let's just click something random. If I'm on wide wall 6, 36T, I'm flicking as fast as I can to these dots. I'm not taking my time really slowly and flicking to them slowly. Like, why would I literally ever do this? When in game would you ever try to play like this? Who would practice like that? Doesn't make any sense. You're a human being with unlimited potential. Move your mouse faster. There's no excuse to have a slow, accurate sensitivity that's going to be holding you back. Play on something that works for you. So a lot of people play on, let's say, like 40 cm. A little quick. I'm not a big fan of it. I would recommend lowering it. But look at it. Same thing. Like, I'm going to move my arm a lot less now, but you could still flick instantly. There's no reason to be flicking slow or taking too much of your time. But you can see I'm a lot less accurate. I'm over flicking a lot. It's not as good for me. This is how you measure your sensitivity. This is where it comes into play to find your sensitivity. Over flicks, much worse than under flicks. You always want to under flick over flicking. So if you find yourself over flicking a lot, you should probably lower your sensitivity, especially if you can get to that target instantly, if you're still able to flick to them fast. If you're on 40, go to 48. If you're on 48, go to 52. You're shaking a lot, lower your CM just a few CM. The smallest amount can really add a lot. It's something I talk about a lot when I'm coaching, when I'm teaching people. Small changes, like if you're on 52 and you're really shaky and you can't aim very accurately, go to 56. Literally, smallest differences in adjustments on your CM can make a huge difference in how much you shake, or how accurate you can be, or maybe how quickly you can stop on a target. It's gonna add a lot more control. But no excuse. I don't want to see anybody else after watching this video say, I'm flicking too slow. How do I flick? I can't flick fast enough. The sensitivity is too slow. How am I supposed to play on this? There's literally no excuse. You are a human being with unlimited potential. Flick as fast as you can. Teleport that mouse. In game, you're going to flick. You're going to flick very fast. You're going to practice fast. You're not going to slowly move your mouse around and take your time trying to shoot people, because you're going to be dead every single time if you do that. Look at this. See how long this takes? Why the hell would I ever flick slow? I have an arm and a hand and fingers to flick quickly, to stop quickly. We're not a controller. There's no limit. We're not limited. If you guys have any other questions, maybe about FOV, for instance, this doesn't change your sensitivity. It's just the way it looks. Like on this, I might play 115. Sometimes I like to play higher FOV. You know, we can see more. Look at it. It's the exact same movements. It's still 64.4 centimeters for 360. It's still the same measure. So for things like that, if you guys are the questions, if you're curious about anything, if this video was a bit silly, didn't help you, tell me. Tell me what I missed. Tell me how it didn't help you. I'll answer in the comments. I'm very active. I'm usually answering stuff. But yeah. I want no more excuses. I don't want to see anybody else saying, I can't flick fast enough. The sense is too slow. Oh, I don't want to say it. No more. Use that fucking arm. Flick. Move that shit. Teleport your mouse to the next player, to the next dot. No more excuses on that. Again, if you guys can't find your sense, if you're confused on something, if you want some help with aim trainers, let me know. DM me privately. I do a lot of private coaching. If you have some VODs that you want me to go over, upload them to YouTube, put them on private. You know, DM me, we can get into a call, we can make something happen. But otherwise, this is the video. I'm gonna go cook some chicken, take a shower, and go to bed. Good night, YouTube.